Have I packed everything now? Xaver stood in the kitchen and looked around. He was about to meet his best friend Cheyenne for a picnic, and today everything had to be perfect. It wouldn't be a normal picnic, no. The young man had a very special question for the girl, and everything had to be perfect. So, let's get through the list again. Bread? Check. Butter? Also check. Cucumber, pepper, tomato? Check. Ham and cheese are also here. The blanket? Check. Oh, and don't forget Cheyenne's favorite jam. The boy was so nervous that he almost forgot the most important thing. He was a bit shocked at himself when he grabbed a small strawberry jam jar from a cupboard in the kitchen. A little more reassured, he packed the glass into the lovingly prepared basket to the other things. He had bought everything fresh from the market and had worked hard for the money, just for today. Xaver took a deep breath in and out, and a nervous grin came to his lips. He would soon spend a nice afternoon with Cheyenne and ask her the question of questions. Cheyenne, do you want to be with Xaver? You're still here, shouldn't you go meet Cheyenne? Xaver's heart jumped in shock, and he put his hand over his mouth when his mother suddenly appeared in the kitchen. Mom, you scared me to death and almost gave me a heart attack. Someone is probably very nervous today. Pfft, not at all. Xaver's mother smiled and supported herself with her arm on the kitchen counter. Have you thought of something to drink? Ah, good thing she mentions it. That's right, I almost forgot. The young man went to the cellar and took out an orange juice, which he carefully packed into the picnic basket to the other ingredients. So, now I should have everything. Xaver, Mom, I've baked you something delicious. Take a look at the oven. Xaver tilted his head, and without taking his eyes off his mother, he went to the oven in the kitchen. It was a very old stove, but it did what it was supposed to. Xaver remembered chopping the firewood again last winter. Now that he was almost an adult, he was able to take a lot of weight from his mother and help her. When he was little, she had to sort everything out herself, as his father had left them when the boy was very small. Since then, the two have been on their own. Oh, your famous vanilla cake! Thank you, Mom, that's perfect! He took the small tray with the beige cake and also carefully packed it into the basket. His mother seemed to suspect that today was an important day for her son. She smiled and closed her eyes. So, now make sure you go, you don't want to be late for your date. Xaver's breath caught, and he turned red like a tomato in his face. Mom, how do you know? Maternal instinct, honey. She looked at him proudly and picked up the picnic basket to press it into Xaver's hands. So, get going, darling. Have fun and good luck. She winked at her son before pushing him out of the kitchen. Xaver left the house and walked towards his horse Xaver, which he had already saddled earlier. Hey, Xaver, thank you for your patience. The horse snorted, as if to confirm, and then scratched its hooves. Yes, I'm already coming. Don't stress me so much. I'm nervous enough. The boy sighed and closed his eyes briefly. Then he swung into the saddle and placed the picnic basket in front of him on the piece of saddle that did not disappear under the boy. So, go, Xaver, but be careful. Otherwise all my effort was in vain when the basket falls over. The horse started moving and strutted in a brisk step the small distance through the undercity to Cheyenne's house. Once there, the girl was already waiting with her horse Falconheart in front of the barn. Oh, hi, Xaver! Xaver smiled when he saw Cheyenne waving at him, and how glad she looked that he had come. She's such an angel. Well, ready for a picnic? Yes, of course, I've been waiting anyway. The boy scratched his head and turned his gaze to the side in embarrassment. Yes, I'm sorry, I have probably took too long, but everything should be perfect today. His friend tilted her head but did not elaborate. She swung herself on her horse with strength and rode next to Xaver. So, where to? The boy could hear joy in her voice and became more relaxed. His heart was still pounding wildly, but it reassured him that his friend had no idea of his plan and was looking forward to the picnic together. I thought we'd go to your favorite place if that's right for you. The girl closed her eyes and nodded with a smile on her lips. Then the two rode off the farm and off to Cheyenne's tree. After a while they had reached the place, even if this time it was a real challenge to get through the gate, because they had the picnic basket with them and could not shred through as quickly as usual. But the basket had survived, and the picnic could still take place. The two friends jumped off their horses and spread out the large picnic blanket. Then they sat down on it and watched their four-legged friends graze briefly. The chroma stars sparkled powerfully in the sky. It was pleasantly warm and the sea breeze blew through the hair of the two teenagers. They just enjoyed sitting there together, talking about their day and teasing each other. Cheyenne had been very happy about the picnic, and especially about her favorite jam, which Xaver had bought especially for her. So the day passed slowly and calmly, and the evening fell. It's now or never. Xaver's heart was pounding and he started sweating slightly. He closed his eyes and took a deep breath in and out. I think I want another jam roll. Cheyenne pulled him out of his thoughts and reached for a piece of bread. Xaver, can you give me the jam? The boy looked at the glass with the red contents and lifted it into the air. So you want some jam bread, huh? Well, then come and get the jam. The boy stood up and decided that his confession might wait. He laughed with relief and a stone fell from his heart that he could gain some more time. Hey, not fair, give me my jam. Cheyenne also stood up and reached for the glass, but Xaver pulled his hand away. Take it if you want it. The two laughed and the girl chased the boy for a while until she caught up with him and jumped on his back. Both fell into the grass and Xaver landed on Cheyenne. They were now very close and looked into each other's eyes. The young man turned red in the face, but this time he didn't look away. His heart was beating so fast that it threatened to shatter, and his friend clearly noticed this because he was lying on top of her. He would have loved to kiss her right now. Now was the time for the question of questions, now or never. Xaver, can you please go down from me? An awkward smile crossed Cheyenne's lips as she asked him to fulfill her request. Cheyenne? His voice trembled and he was afraid that he would not utter a word right away. He was more nervous than ever. Yes? The girl looked at him with questioning but calm eyes. She didn't seem to hold it against him that he hadn't gotten off her yet. She seemed to sense how important this was for the boy. Cheyenne, I must ask you something. His words were quiet and uncertain. Cheyenne, we've known each other for so long. Every day you give me joy and you're always here for me when I feel bad. You're beautiful and honest, polite, accommodating, kind. Your character is simply the best I have ever met. I am so infinitely grateful to have found you. I don't know how to tell you, but I love you. In his mind, Xaver went through what he wanted to tell her. Cheyenne, but only a short version came over his lips. Do you want to be with me The girl seemed to know what was coming and turned her head away with a look that now looked almost guilty. Xaver! The boy put her one finger on the mouth and turned her head back to him. That's her answer, just as I thought. Do you want to be with me tomorrow morning watching the chroma stars rise? The palpitations disappeared, and Xaver smiled at Cheyenne. Did she notice that it was a sad smile? He didn't want to force an answer that made her uncomfortable, and he knew it would be a no based on her reaction. The girl seemed to force herself to smile as well. Yes, of course we can, gladly. Xaver fervently hoped that there would be no awkward mood between the two, and he got off Cheyenne. He helped her up and handed her the jar of jam. The two sat down on the picnic blanket again, and Cheyenne made herself a bun. After eating her bun, she snuggled up to Xaver, who was surprised by her approach. He took her in his arms and gave her a kiss on the forehead. Xaver, I love you so much, you're my best friend, and I'm glad we met. I feel the same way, Cheyenne. Inwardly, Xaver was sad and hurt, but he was very happy about the words of his best friend. At least he didn't seem to have destroyed their current relationship, and that was important to him. He would not give up. He loved this girl, and he would try again. He would give her time, all the time in the world. Maybe she just wasn't ready yet. So the evening passed, and both watched silently but cuddled up to each other as the chroma stars went down.